Alright guys, girls, to get to our high pressure hose, it's down buried inside there, so we got to get some stuff out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is remove these shields right here. Now first of all, you can see this thing's missing some clips, one right there and one right there, but we do have two Torx bolts here, and those are T25. Alright, so I'm going to be using a T25 Torx socket with a 1/4 inch drive, and for quick I'm going to be using the nut driver to go with it. So let's just get those two out of the way. And pick this cover up. And this cover got little slots right here. That this side of the cover goes into. So just make sure they come out of there and move that out of the way. Put that down to the side with our two bolts right next to it. The next thing we're going to do here, oh man, this is not good, man. This is not good. You know what? We're going to have to remove, this is our mass airflow sensor with our air tube right here. We need to get that out of the way. So the first thing we're going to do is unplug our mass airflow sensor. There's two tabs on each side, one over there, and you just squeeze those tabs in and pull back. Squeeze the tabs in, pull back, just like that. The next thing we're going to do is that, being that this cover goes down to the throttle body, and which means we're going to, this air tube, so which means we're going to have to remove this cover. And to remove this cover, we have four 10mm bolts. So what I'm going to use here is my 6-inch 3/8 drive extension, my 3/8 drive ratchet, and we're going to use, what is this, a 10mm socket. And we're going to sit here and take those bolts out. So let's take those 4 bolts out, and all 4 are going to be the same length, so don't have to worry about getting them confused. Let's take them out and we'll be right back. Alright, we got the 4 bolts. Let's slowly pick our cover up and take it off and set that down to the side. Okay, now we can remove our air tube here. First thing we do, we'll see we got a vacuum line here. Now I'm going to be very careful and disconnect this, because this is going into a plastic fitting, and you do not want to break that fitting. Then you're going to end up having to replace the whole thing. So what you want to do is take your finger, both fingernails, and go to each side of the hose or a screwdriver and just pull back on it to get that out of the way. Great. The next thing we're going to do, take us a flat screwdriver. Wow. It's twisting my screwdriver. Wow. This is a Harbor Freight screwdriver, so, guess that ain't gonna work. So we're gonna have to be doing this another way. Let's see what size this is. That's an 8. Let's see, it's 7. Alright. So we got here is a 6mm 3/8 drive socket. We're gonna put it onto the end of our 6-inch ratchet with 3/8 drive ratchet and extension, and we're going to, what the heck, man, I just had them, okay, and we're going to loosen that clamp up. Okay, take that off. Now you're probably going to have a better screwdriver than what I just used. So now to disconnect it over here, what I'm going to do is disconnect it from the 2 tabs right here, locking tabs. One right here, and maybe the screwdriver will work this time. Pop that out, and then right on the other side there's another one. Pop that loose. Once we have those loose, I'm going to slowly pull my air tube out and then unpull it out of here, out of the box. Done. I'm going to put this down to the side. Now over here, what I'm doing, now this is what I'm putting in the party line. If you're doing a job that you're not familiar with, you want to start yourself a party line. So the first part we took off, we set it into the line and the bolts. The next part, we put that in the line with the bolts, and then the latest part we took off. So when we go to put this job back together, we start from this end of the line and just work our way forward, and everything is intact. Another thing, very important tip I like to show you, don't have no bolts hanging around in a box or anything like that. If you can, take your bolts, And when you take something out, put the bolts back in by a few threads. So in that way, you don't lose them. You know exactly where they came out of. So that makes it a lot easier also to put things back together. All right, we'll be right back.
You're a good teacher.
Yeah. All right, guys. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have to remove our air cleaner box and our expansion tank. Now to remove the expansion tank, we got 2 T25 bolts right here. So we're using our T25 quarter-inch drive with our same nut driver. 1, 2. Okay, and then what we're going to do is carefully, now remember, not remember, but you don't know that. our hose sets in this little groove right here. It just pops right out. So it pops right out. Take our canister, move it over. We got a plug over here. Now for this plug, I'm trying to see the best way you can see this. Okay, let's squeeze this tab in right here. Unplug it, put that down to the side. That is done. And then we're gonna lay this down over to the side, keep it upright so no antifreeze spills out of there. And then we're gonna take out 2 screws, and just like before, we're gonna take out screws and we're gonna put them back, just a few threads, into where they belong so we don't misplace those, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do is need to remove our air cleaner assembly. First thing we're going to do is disconnect this hose right here. And to disconnect this hose, there's 2 tabs. It's got this ring right here, this locking ring. There's a part on this side and a part on this side. You got to squeeze in both sides at the same time while picking it out. Alright, get that out of the way. And right down here, you're going to see 2 Phillips screws. Phillips screwdriver. And get down there. Take off 1. Up. Pull that out to the side, just like that. Lay that down to the party line. I'm gonna keep the screws right along with this, so I'm not worried about that. Now we're ready. Let's get us a little light. Shine something on the subject. Shine a little light on the subject here. Now, if you look right down here, let's move out. This is our connector to our AC compressor. Let's move that out of the way. We ain't gonna need that where we're going. Now, let's turn this light to a different view. And right down here on the side, you see that hex bolt right there. That's the line we need.
Shiny. There you go.
That's the line we need to disconnect. That line comes up over around here. This is part of it. It comes up right to here. And as you can see, this is where it's broken at. Look at this. And the reason why these does that is because oil gets on these things, and you can see how the oil just ate this thing up. So if you got any oil leaks around your AC lines, you definitely want to take care of that. So we need to get that out of the way. All right, let's go back down over here. Now, in order to get this line out, we see it's got that hex bolt on it, but there's no way I can get anything on that without removing the low side line right there.
Why?
Because see, the socket won't fit into this. See how that line's in the way?
No, it's too shiny. So what?
Okay, now you see what I mean? Now how you gonna get a socket onto that to get that bolt out of there? Still not see what I'm saying.
No.
All right. See that bolt right there?
Yeah.
That's the bolt we got to take out.
Okay.
See how that pipe's in the way?
Oh,
so I can't get a socket
get
onto that. So we got to remove this pipe first, then get to that one.
Wow.
Yep. All right. So let me go get some tools, and I'll be right back.
So, wait, I have a question. I guess since that line broke like that, there's nothing to evacuate.
Exactly. There's nothing in the system at all.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Right back. All right, guys. What we got here? We got a 6mm hex socket with my 2-foot 3/8 drive extension and my 3/8 drive ratchet. And what I'm going to do is bring it down there onto that bolt. Okay. Got a little tight there. Alright, so let's go over here and set our light back up. What the heck, man? This thing still. Alright, so let's loosen that bolt up. And we are looking to take that bolt completely out of there. But I don't want this bolt to drop, so I'm going to be very careful. And we'll see if the bolt can come up with the socket. If not, I'm going to get me a, like it didn't, I'm going to get a magnet. I'll be right back. Alright, got me a long telescoping magnet around here. And grab our bolt. There we go. Great. One is out. Now what I'm going to do is shake that line just a little bit. And at the same time, be picking it up. There we go. Got that line right out of the way. And I want to set it on the side like that. Dang it, my light. Now we can get easy access to the one bolt right there. Alright, now we're going to get a swivel head ratchet so we can get enough room in there to get that line. I'm going to show you what that is. Be right back. Alright guys, here we go. This is going to be a great tool to have. Get you a swivel head ratchet. This one's also angled. This is great. It's a Craftsman. So we're going to take our 6mm hex socket, hook it onto there, and we're going to go down. And I can see our line is in the way a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, we'll get it in there, and I want to make sure this socket is perfectly seated in there, because you do not want to strip that out at all. Get this thing out of the way, held up somewhere. You know what, guys? Tell you what, let me get a wire tie, a tie strap, so we can tie this line up out of the way. Be right back. All right, we're gonna bring our line up here, and I'm gonna use my expansion tank hoses to hold that right up in place. Let's get our tie strap over here. Hook this up. Right. Now let's go back down there. That's not a different size. There we go. This thing gets in the way. See, right now I am crooked. I am not liking that. So let's try to adjust this. Now, yeah, now I'm straight on it. So, now let's try to loosen this thing up. Oh, look at this. This thing, come on, give me one click. Got it. Got it loose. Now what I'm gonna do is take the socket off. Just use my socket, go down there with the hand. Put the socket on the bolt. This car is kind of hot. Ah, dang, that's hot. Yeah, you know, you want to make sure that let that thing cool off a little bit. Because I moved it. Let's go with my other hand over here.
Yeah, but how long did you have it on for?
Not long at all.
Maybe he was.
All right, there we go. Got my socket on there, and I'm standing in front of the vehicle, and I'm going to use my left hand to go down, and I'm turning that bolt and getting that bolt out of there. And there we go. There's our bolt. Now, let's see if we can go over there, down there, and find the rest of that line. Let's wiggle this thing out of there. It's loose. Look at that. Thing's gotta be so difficult. Ain't nothing holding that line on, is it? Bingo, got it. All right, there we go. Woo. Look at that. All right, we're not out of the woods yet, guys, because the next thing we got to do, look at all this oil on this. We got to clean it. We got to find out where that oil's coming from. This is nasty. Look at that. All right, now we got to get the other side of our line. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, next thing we got to do, here's the other end of our line right here, and it's going behind this plate right here. So we got to remove this plate. Now, to remove this plate, you have a bunch of T30 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There should be 10, but this one's not there. So I got a T30 quarter-inch drive with a 6-inch quarter-inch drive extension and my quarter-inch drive ratchet. And what I'm going to do here is go ahead and take all these bolts out of here. All bolts are the same length, so you don't have to.
You didn't take them out yet.
I did this before. I'm a BMW technician. I know what I'm doing. Question my work.
I ever tell you sometimes we get people, they call up, people call up and say, do you work on BMW? Of course, because not everybody here works on high-end cars, right?
Right.
But it's funny when people call up and say, do you guys work on Chryslers?
Yeah, I know. I was like,
who doesn't? Should be the answer.
I guess I don't know what they think they driving. So you I'll probably get ripped off and buying paying so much money for a Dodge. Oops. I'm talking to you and dropping stuff down here.
Oh yeah, that was my fault.
That's your fault. Distracting me.
Rose don't get treated like this.
She's the boss.
I thought I was too. That's what I keep hearing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You missed one.
Oh, well, forget that. I'm not doing that one.
You missed it.
I'm not doing that one. I'll get that one last. What are you doing? I get that one last.
I get that one.
Oh, look at this. I can't believe, because I go out of order.
You did go out of order.
Just because?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got 2 more bolts. When we get those bolts out, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're on our last bolt. Okay, the bolt is out. Put our whole panel shield up. brace or whatever you want to call the thing. Put our bolts to the side.
Bracket.
Ain't no bracket. It's a cover. All right, okay. Let's check it out. Let's see what out here. Now, this our high pressure line is going over here, and it's going right down into there. So let's get our. Here's our 6mm. Where the heck is the 6mm thing in? Where's the heck socket?
You got sockets over there.
No.
Heck socket? I don't even know what that means, but what about, where's this?
Huh?
Where is that?
Nope. It's that one can roll.
Does it look like one of those?
One of these right here.
Oh, yeah, there.
Oh, here we got it. All right.
You're supposed to keep your tools in order.
Yeah, I know. Our 6mm 3/8 drive socket, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my 2-foot 3/8 drive extension. All right, I'm gonna bring the socket down there. And loosen that up, and we're gonna take that bolt out of there. And again, I don't want this bolt to drop anywhere, so I'm gonna just take it loose all the way. You gotta excuse the noise that people around here cutting grass on either side of us. So it's annoying.
Very.
All right, over here.
Don't they know who we are?
I know. Let's go. I'm gonna get our bolt. Hey, I wonder what happens if I magnetize the extension.
No.
Would the bolt be magnetized?
No.
Let's
no, Professor.
Okay, let's go down here.
Try it then. Try it.
No, heck no. I ain't trying it down there. All right, let's get our bolt. Let's try it out here. I'm gonna try this out. Now, right now. No, don't. So, if I magnetize right there. No, still don't. Maybe if it was a strong enough magnet, it would. All right, so I got my bolts here. Now I want to make sure this one got a little washer on the end of it, so I know that one goes up there. I want to keep it separate from these two. All right, so let's go up here now. And
why did you put the line like that, where you have to kind of tuck that one under to get it out?
I don't know, but luckily this has got a little bend to it. It looks a little, so we can pick this up a little bit. And then let's wiggle this line out of there. Okay. That's annoying as heck. Alright. You gotta be kidding me. You know what? Let's go that way. Bring this line over here. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Look at that. All because of oil leaking onto it. Just messed that whole thing up. Alright, so let's set it right here and let's go get our new hose and we'll be right back. Alright guys, here we go. We got our new line. Line looks great. This line is made by 4 Seasons. If you're going to replace AC lines or AC parts, make sure you get it from a company that's known for AC repair. Because you don't want nothing happening. Alright, check it out. These lines got little plastic protectors on them, which is cool and all, but we're not going to need those. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to grab some new refrigerant oil, and for this car you want to use PAG 46. Alright, so what you want to do, have some clean gloves on and all. And what you want to do is pop one end of the line off. You want to lubricate around the O-ring so it can make sure it goes in there good and not bind up and mess up anything. Alright, take a little bit for the next one. Close this off. Alright, now for this one we're going to pick up because we don't want this end to touch the ground. So we're going to go over here, pop this cap off. Lubricate it. Alright, then we're going to go over here to the car. And you know what I'm gonna do, guys? Because I'm pushing that down there. What I'm gonna do here, put this cover back on for a minute, because I'm bringing it down there, and I don't want it to touch anything dirty or nothing, or dirt getting that line. And I want to make sure I bring that line to where it's gonna be at. Goes over there. Okay, let's bring this line down. Whoops, wait a minute here. I think this actually gonna go, if you look down here, I'm gonna have to put this between the heater hose and the lower radiator hose. So you wanna make sure you do that as well. Okay, now let's lower this down. Okay, now we're gonna go down to below, and we're gonna make sure that line sets in where it's supposed to be. There it is right there. We're gonna rock it back and forth till we feel that set down in there. Great, there it is right there, set down in there. Dang, that's noise. Alright, now the next thing we're gonna do is take our other line. We're gonna move that out the way just a little bit, just so we can get our bolt set up. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get that bolt started. So we're gonna get our 2-foot extension, 3/8 drive extension with our 6mm hex and a piece of plastic. So we can take the plastic, fold it, put it over to the socket, to the head of the socket, get our bolt, push that on there just a little bit, just so it can hold into place. Great. So we're gonna walk over here. Wait for that. We're gonna slowly lower it down into there, and we're gonna start turning this very slowly. And you want to make sure that it's going down easily and not cross-threaded. And that is going down there great. Alright, so now to tighten this up, this is what you want to do. You want to go there till it stops, and just a snug little bit more. That's it. This don't have to be super duper tight. Alright, so wiggle it, take our socket out of there. Great, that is done. Now for the hard part. We got to go this side and get that lined up. But what we're going to do here is go over here, and we know this is the bolt for it. So we are going to get us another piece of plastic or something. Give me an old glove. I don't care. Yeah. Use a piece of glove. Put it up there. Great, perfect. All right, so let's see if we can do this. So what I'm looking to do here is, there's my line. Get the line wherever it's at.
Don't you have to remove that little plastic piece?
I sure do, dang it.
You're welcome.
You're telling me you're welcome. Alright, so let's get our little plastic piece. Let's pick that line up. Dang it, this thing's in the way. You know what? Let's unplug this. This thing's gonna be a pain to unplug back up, but you know, better yet, bring it back there for now. There. All right, so let's reach up under here, bring our line up, and pull that plastic piece off. Okay, it's off. You can see where the line's going.
I can see your hand.
Okay, it's gonna be right over there. Right over the shininess. It's gonna go right up against there. What the heck? Alright guys, I gotta get me some brown gloves because this thing's kind of warm under there. Be right back. Alright, got me a brown jersey glove over here so I can withstand that heat more. Now let's get this, pick this line up. Get this lined up, man. Dang, that thing got in the way again. And I want to put this on carefully because I don't want to damage that O-ring in any kind of way. Oh, it feels like it. Holy cow. It's bad when you can't see at the same time.
It looked like you were there.
It did, but for some reason it wasn't going on there. Alright, what the heck? I think I'm on there. Okay, I am close to there. So now what I'm gonna do is, where's my bolt at? Where the heck did the bolt go? That's what I just had it up here. Man, please don't let that thing drop. Alright, so I'm gonna get my bolt set up. And reach down in here. This is all being done by feel because I haven't. Dang, that line came right off of there. Okay, that wasn't it. Let's try that again. Let's bring our line. You know, if this was cold, it'd be a lot better to work with. I know that's lined up. So why it ain't going down there, I have no idea. Crazy face off this way. Ah! Let's try this again. Guys, this is, believe me, if you're doing this, this sucks. This really
What a
sucks.
pep talk.
I'm not giving no pep talk. I'm letting
You're
know.
supposed to be giving words of encouragement.
Yeah, words of encouragement. This sucks.
Your words of encouragement, take it to somebody else.
Yeah. It's like I get the thing held up into place just where I need it. But then it won't stay just enough. so I can get the bolt in there. And this stupid connector get in my damn way. Okay, let's see if I can get this bolt started now. Okay, got the bolt in there, and whether I get, there's my socket broke, gone, but I've still got the bolt in there. Dang it, nope, that didn't work. Man, you gotta kill me. Now I gotta reach down there and try to get my socket. Alright guys, let me get my socket with the magnet and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm got this line going down there again. And I'm trying to thread the bolt in by a few threads. I gotta do this by hand because I definitely don't want this thing cross-threaded in any kind of way. I got it. Now the problem is, ow, that burns. That burns. Alright, let's see here. Alright, I got the bolt going in. Now I gotta go up around here and get the magnet on, try to find our 6mm hex bolt. So let's try the hex socket. Let's go try to find that and we'll be right back. Alright guys, finally got my socket here. Now let's get that hooked on. And we're gonna put this down there. Alright, there we go. A little bit by a little bit. Alright, let's get that tightened up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I just about got this tightened up. And again, go until it stops and then turn a little bit more. This is going into the compressor, which is aluminum, so you definitely don't want to strip that out. Perfect. All right. What a job this is. This is such a job. All right. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to grab a little PAG oil. Matter of fact, I had disconnected the AC compressor, you know, while I'm down here before that line gets in the way. Let's get that plug back up. And I can't even see where this thing goes. This thing is such a pain. Alright, there we go. Alright, so give me some fresh gloves on here. Well, actually, I'm gonna use my hand right here.
Well,
Right.
can't you use a Q-tip for that? Can you use a 007 for that? It's a question. It's just a question.
Just to let you guys know, while she asked, I was just looking at her crazy in the face.
Yeah, he was. Good. Crazy in the face. I was just asking a question.
No, that's a perfect idea. Just that I'm upset.
Oh, because I thought of it?
That's right. I'm supposed to do it. I'm supposed to do it. I'm the genius.
Now who's looking crazy in the face?
We're going to get a Q-tip and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're about to do the 007, which means instead of using your fingers for anything, if you can, use some get a Q-tip. There we go. And that's all we want to do here is lubricate the O-ring. Why didn't you tell me about this when I put the new line in? Huh. She don't have no answer for that, do she?
Because that's not my job.
You said something about this one. All right, we're going to cut the tie strap.
Because you said you were going to use your finger.
You should have said, well, why do that? Why mess up the glove and all that?
Oh, goodness.
All right, so let's get our line down in there. Let's put our light on so you can see. All right, let's switch sides now.
But I can see good.
But I need to be over here.
Oh, man. Now I'm not gonna be able to see.
All right, let's get put our line in there. Perfect. It's set right in there.
Really? I don't know.
You go back on that side.
Took my spot.
What's more important, fixing the car or good camera angles?
Good camera angles.
That's YouTube. You know, that's YouTube money.
Don't mess with my money.
This is fixing the car just one time. You know, we get paid. That's
Yeah.
it. But this video goes forever.
Oh, there we are. I couldn't find the hose. The line. There you go, people. It looks like that.
All right. Next thing we're gonna do. Over here, got our 6mm hex socket. Break off a piece of an old glove.
Kit Kat bar.
Yeah.
I didn't buy you gloves so that
These
you
are the
could sit
old
there
gloves. These are the
and
old
break
gloves.
'em.
Oh, these are the old gloves. Well, you know, from now on the end of all my videos, I put #MeToo. All right, we're gonna lower this bolt down in there.
That's terrible.
Then
Somebody
start it off
gotta
by hand.
Let you have it for that. You know that, right?
He don't be thinking when he be saying things. He just be saying stuff. You pay for it later though.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna tighten it up till it stops, and then tighten it up a little bit more. Let's wiggle our socket out of there. Dang it!
Drop your wrench. Or
All
ratchet.
right. That is great. All right, guys. The next thing we're gonna do. Cut this light off.
That's the next step.
Yeah.
Cut the light off.
Cut your light off. Any kind of light you got on, cut them off now. All right, then we're gonna get our air cleaner box. And go back over here. We're gonna set this down. Now, if you look down there, you'll see a slot. That's where the end of this. That's where this slot, this little tab, sticks down into. All right, so we're gonna put that down there. Get our line out of the way, and then line up our two holes to put the screws in. Let's get our Phillips screwdriver. And there's one. Up here. There we go. All right, and let's get our other one in. Get our hose out the way. All right, let's screw those down, and we'll be right back. All right, we got that down. The next thing we do, we're gonna push our hose in here, our breather hose, and that's all you gotta do is push that in there till it clips into place. Done. That's perfect. The next thing we do, let's take off our T30 bolts over here. Oh, actually screws. Bring our expansion tank. Bring it over. Now, you see this little part right here that's sticking out right here? That goes right inside this hole right over here. But before we do that, we want to make sure we hook up our level sensor. You know, these nuts are starting to come out now. Snap that into place. Home. Bring it over. Yep. All right. Make sure our screws are lined up. The holes are lined up. Start them in. One right there. And one right over here. All right, where's our, oh, why not got a 25? This is a 25? Yeah, okay, T25's over here. 1/4" drive socket. With our nut driver, let's tighten these up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do, let's hook up our air tube with our mass airflow sensor in here. Let's plug up our mass airflow right now. Plug that up. Alright, now here's the two tabs on this. So they're going to fit, this tube is going to fit in there. And at the same time, before we lock those down, what we're going to do is reach over here and put our air tube on there. Let's hook up our vacuum hose over here before we forget that, because that will trigger a leak or trigger a code, and it will make the vehicle run kind of funky. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, let's line this up. Let's snap our tabs into place. One on that side, one on that side. That's done. Get our 6mm socket with a 6-inch extension. Let's bring this up and let's tighten that. Get our 3/8 drive ratchet. And tighten that up. You know, I think we got a problem because we don't have our oil injector here. And guys, what I mean by the oil injector is you have to put oil in this system. If you don't put oil in this system, you will fry that compressor up. You have to put oil in there. And to get oil into a system, you have to have an oil injector, that's tightened up, that's going to go on to the low port side. And let's switch sides.
Did you have to do that clamp?
No, I didn't loosen that one up.
Oh.
Here's our low side port right here where we charge the system. You have to, there's a tool that hooks onto there, then you hook a bottle of oil up to it with a thing, and you press the oil, compress the oil into the system. We do not have it here, but I got to get oil into this system, and you have to put oil into your system. So if you're in the middle of a job, I'm gonna show you the next best thing. The first thing we're gonna do, we gotta find an entry point. A lot of times what you can do, if this wasn't so far down, what I would do is take off the cap, remove the Schrader valve, put like a funnel or something up here, or hose, and pour the oil into the system. But that looks kind of like way down there. So, you know, we got two lines over here. You know, guys, I got an idea. Let's get our 6mm. Let's get our 6mm 3/8 drive socket with our 2-foot 3/8 drive extension, and we got this line over here. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take this bolt out of there.
Is that the line you just put in?
No, this is the other one.
Oh.
So let's take that out. Get our magnet. Get the bolt. Set that to the side. Let's wiggle this line out of there. Put that to the side without bending it too much. And there's going to be our entry point. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. Let me go see what I can figure out to put in there, and we can get the oil in there. Be right back. Alright guys, check this out. I got my transmission funnel. I think, what? I know, like, what? And I sprayed it completely inside and wiped this down good. I sprayed it with carburetor cleaner, then topped it off with some brake cleaner, because brake cleaner dries up good, and then wiped this thing out good. I made sure this thing is clean all the way through. And what I'm gonna do is stick the hose down, the funnel down into there. And look at that, that is a perfect fit. That is perfect. Let's get a light. Let me get a light so you can see down in there. Be right back, guys. Alright guys, got a little light right here. Now we can see down in there. And
see what?
You can see down in there. Alright. Next thing I'm gonna do is get some PAG 46 oil. And what I'm gonna do is pour the oil down in there. And what I'm gonna do is because this system has oil in it, so I'm gonna use half this bottle. Alright.
How do you know when it's half?
Because I'm good like that. You can look in there and see. All right, it's about half the bottle. I'm going to close this off. And now I'm going to sit here and let that drain inside the system. It looks like it's taking a little while, but that is a very important step. You have to put oil into the system, and you want to make sure you put the right kind of oil in there. All right, let's let that drain down, and we'll be right back when it's done. All right, guys, it's all drained out. Let's pick this up and try to get a little bit of oil left up here. Go around this O-ring. All right, now we're gonna put our line back down in there. Okay. We get our 2-foot 3/8 drive extension with our 6mm hex socket on it, and I stuck a little piece of rag in there. Well, not rag, glove in there to hold the bolt in place. And we're gonna go down there and put that in. Start screwing in by hand. Okay, going in. And we're gonna go tighten that up. Perfect. Great. Got our oil in there. I am definitely happy with that. All right, the next step we're gonna do. You know what? Is the cover gonna be in the way? It might not be in the way. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is reach over here and take the cap off to our low side port. And you definitely want to recharge your system using the low side. Now the low side, the diameter of the fitting right there is smaller than the high side. Let me take the high side off. You see how big that one is. Do not try to charge the system through there.
What is that for?
Well, that's the high side of the AC system, so you can hook up your gauge and you can check the PSI reading on the high side, because it can't go too high or the system will mess up. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is get our gauges and our R134A. The low side is over here. Now what we're gonna do is got a coupling that pulls back, goes onto the fitting, and then release to lock it into place. All right, so let's get it down in there some kind of way. Okay, let's get that hooked onto there. Okay, it's hooked on. And now what we're gonna do is take this valve right here and turn it clockwise all the way down. And what that's gonna do is push down the Schrader valve so it opens up the system. Great, that's all the way down. And as soon as I did that, the needle dropped down all the way. All right, we are ready to recharge. Now, pretty much you're using the little cans. And if you're using the little cans, when you recharge the system, make sure you hold the can upside down, because R134 comes out as a liquid. So you want to make sure it's held upside down so it can come down as a liquid. Sometimes on these canisters, they do say that. Okay, right here. This end up for vapor, this end up for liquid. R134 comes out as a liquid. So what you want to do, let me put this back in here, because it helps hold it in place. Open up the valve, turn it upside down, and we are ready to go. And my valve, I got to get new gauge sets. They kind of messed up here. Even the lines are coming off and all that. So, got me a pair of needle nose pliers here, and my needle nose pliers are going to hold that in place, so I can open it.
You had this?
Huh?
How long have you had this? Looks like it's taken a beating.
That's right. You put it through the test.
Okay.
All right. The next thing we're going to do is start this car up. All right. Let me get my tools and everything out of the way, and then we're going to start it up, and then I'm going to show you how to recharge the system. Be right back. Alright guys, here we go. We're inside the car. Let me put the key in. And what I got here is what you want to get is a digital thermometer. Not the other one. The other one's kind of corny. This is digital. It's for checking meat and all, but you can use it for this. What? What's funny?
Nothing.
Alright, so what we're going to do is cut it on. Now it's right now set at Fahrenheit, which is what I want. Right now it's sensing 83.3 degrees. And what I want to do with this is stick this into the vent. Start the car up. Cut the AC on. Hit the button, put it on max. Everything good. AC on, AC on. Make sure this is blowing out fully. Alright. As you can see, did you see the temperature right there?
It just says 8.
Oh, wait a minute, I hit the button.
Yep.
Okay, 91, 92, and that's on AC. So, let's go out there and start charging this system up. Be right back. Alright, now, while I'm charging this system up, what I'm looking for, I want that low side to read about 30 to 35, okay? So what we're going to do here is introduce some Freon into the system, and I can tell it's going to go through by the little sight glass, and you'll see it start bubbling. There it goes. And in a minute, you're going to hear the AC compressor kick in. That's a quiet compressor. It kicked in already. Let's see. Yes, it did. All right, system's going to drop down. Now I'm going to let it sit here for a minute because it's going to drop back down. So what we're going to do is go inside the car and see where the temperature is on our thermometer. Make sure this is shut off. Let's go check that out. Okay, 85, 84 is definitely starting to drop, which is good.
What should it be at?
This should be at about 50 degrees. So we got a long way to go. As you can see, it's dropping down. It's at 80. All right, now we go back up here to the front. Check our gauge. Right now, we're running at 30. But it's going to drop. It's going to continue to drop down a little bit more. But we're going to just wait, let it sit, let it drain down a little bit, let the Freon get into the system, and we're going to keep checking back and forth. All right, we'll be right back.
Okay, we're down to 57. We're almost there. Got a little bit to go. So we'll wait a little longer.
All right, guys, check it out. We have 49 degrees. About 49.8, so no, say 50 degrees, 49.2, and this thing is continuously dropping. And this is recirculating the air inside the car right now. We got the car window open, so if this window was closed, this thing was continue to drop down to 40 degrees in an enclosed environment. We are good to go. Let's go check out our low temperature side. Well, our low side. Our low side is perfect. We're looking at about 31. That is perfect. This is a perfectly charged system. If you continuously to keep charging and think it's going to get colder, it's not. If you overcharge the system, it's going to start coming out hot. So be very careful. If you go on by gauges, make sure you go on by the 30. All right, now to take off this system, to stop the system, what you want to do is take this valve and you're going to unscrew it. So it stops. That's going to release, that's going to bring out that Schrader valve. So now the system is closed. Now I can safely disconnect this system. This gauge. Dang it. Dang it. Alright, you know what? Now I can shut it off. Let me go shut this car off and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we got it out of there. Let's connect it back. Make sure this is off. Let's get our, make sure you get your cap. Put your cap back on because your cap has a little O-ring inside. Just in case it starts leaking out through that fitting, this will stop it. And you gotta be careful. Reach down here. Dang, that's hot. Put that cap on nice and snug. We are good to go. Let's turn our bottle back over. Shut it off. And put this to the side. Now, next thing we're going to do, guys, is, let's see, over here we got our party line that we kind of messed up over here. But, let's get this right here, this shield, cover, bracket, brace, whatever you want to call it. Stick this in place. Get our screws in there. And then we're going to tighten these up. And which side are these again? No idea.
T30.
Look at that. And where's our 1/4" drive ratchet? Oh, it's somewhere around here. I gotta get the ratchet. Alright, so we're going to put these in and tighten these up. And we're going to use a T30 socket. And we'll be right back. Alright guys, tightening up the last bolt and that's done. The next thing I'm going to do is get our engine cover. We got 4 10mm bolts that we stuck up here that we put in place. Let's get them out. Set our cover down. Get our bolts lined up in there. What the heck, man? Where is it? Yeah, this is... There we go. Alright, 10mm. Let's put those in there and tighten them up. We'll be right back. Alright, we got the cover on. The next thing we're going to do, you know, before we get this other cover on, guys, I want to get my light. I want to look down here and see if we can see what's causing this belt to squeal. It was the oil, but there's no oil on the belt. So something else is causing this. So let me get a light and I'll be right back. Oh, we're recording, huh? You didn't tell me we were recording.
You just said it.
Yeah, I don't know. You didn't tell me. What the heck? You're going to leave me? Just going to leave me out there?
Serenity now.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, check it out, guys. Alright, that oil, there's oil definitely on the pan down there. And there's oil over there. There's no oil on this belt right here. You can see this belt right here. You can see that one? That one's dry as anything. But there is another belt back there going to an AC compressor. You see that, Jimmy? Right? Alright, good. Alright, so we're going to have to jack this up and take that bottom pan off and see where that oil leak is coming from. They're going into them belts to stop this squealing. But that's definitely for another video. Alright, in the meantime, let's hook this last thing up over here. We gotta
fix it.
We gotta fix this. Put this in here like this. Bring it over. Okay, got our 2 T25 bolts, screws. We're gonna put them in there, tighten this up, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, check this out. I don't know what I'm gonna stick this little section of the video into some place, but check it out. I was trying to find this oil leak, and I noticed that the new line we put in down there, you can actually see it kind of wet with oil right now. And that's coming from, this right here is a vacuum pump. It's leaking right from the vacuum pump. underneath the vacuum pump, if you look in there, there's a bolt. You can see where it's wet at. So there's an O-ring inside the cover right there, and the O-ring in there. So we're gonna have to take that out and change those quick because they're gonna mess that line up again. All right, just wanted to add that in there. Take care. We'll be back.